freedom.
Yes.
I can be free living in this world of secondary addictions as long as they're not becoming life dominating, as long as I'm staying honest about them. I can live and enjoy this world and the things that God has on, as long as I don't make them idols.
I'm not using them to manage my moods.
It's for freedom we were set free. Talk to me about, as the leader of an addiction recovery ministry, we've worked so hard and continue to work so hard at staying sober from the primary stuff. Are we allowed to dip our toes in here? I mean, premeditatively.
So are you asking me, can you and I go and eat wings at Taco Mac?
And do it with joy?
We absolutely can. I should probably get a 6-pack of wings and broccoli, not 20 wings and fries and onion rings. But there's nothing sinful about wings. And though I'm not quite sure why God created stuff like broccoli and Brussels sprouts, there's nothing certainly sinful about it. The point is, what am I doing over here? Am I hiding? Am I using it to manage my moods? Am I using it to feel better about myself? Am I using it to escape? Or am I using it in a relational fashion?
Well, here's where it's bottom lining for me. Freedom can be had over here, but it feels binding. It feels like, again, I'm constantly being measured. I get that pressure of don't cross the line. But then I hear this. Paul tells us that his ultimate freedom came when he became a bond servant. So is that feeling of restriction, is that feeling of discipline, is that feeling of I can't, even though I want to, a good feeling because we're working ourselves toward that bond servanthood?
No, I think it is evidence of shame and evidence of a perspective or a lifestyle or a position of shame. That foreboding sense of I can't, this is wrong. I think the bondservant knows and understands my master doesn't have a problem with me going shopping, or doesn't have a problem with me having wings, or doesn't have a problem with me watching the World Series. The problem is when I use these things, these gifts of God. How many times do we see people in the Bible, Bill, using the gifts of God for their own gain, or using the gifts of God to manipulate others, or using the gifts of God to somehow manage their emotions or change their emotions? So it's not. Part of being a bondservant is recognizing that I have a relationship here that's based upon love and grace, and that God says every gift is a good gift from your Father if I use it in that way.
Okay, because freedom to me feels like a meadow, open your arms, breathe in the air, dance like no one's watching. I'm free. I have no burden. Yet the idea of a bondservant and the idea of having to restrict myself in certain ways feels antithetical to that. And I'm wondering if I'm missing something about what freedom truly is.
Yeah, because I think freedom is doing things you enjoy without feeling shame because of them. Now, if I enjoy pornography, now we've got a problem here. And there is not true joy over here. But when I'm over here, I can enjoy the gifts of God. And you know what? If God allowed you and I to sit and watch an ALCS with Boston versus Houston, and Houston wins in 6 or 7, that would be a great gift from God that we could enjoy together, relationally with one another and relationally with the Lord. And God wouldn't have a problem with that at all. And I think that would be a source of great joy for both of us. I remember in 2005, Bill, I was privileged to go to the first ever World Series that the Houston Astros played in ever in the history of our franchise. And I got to go with my father. And that was one of the greatest joys and greatest gifts from God. Now, we didn't pray at the game. We didn't read the Bible at the game. I didn't think too terribly much about Jesus at the game. But that was a gift from God. And that was freedom. And I went there and I enjoyed that game, and I enjoyed God's gift and blessing of those tickets, and I enjoyed the relationship that I share with my dad, in particular around baseball and around the Houston Astros. And Bill, that might not have been spiritual in the sense that a lot of people would want it, but that was a spiritual experience because it was indeed a gift from God that I will cherish forever.
I hope this has been helpful this week to you. The concept of grace is a difficult one for guys like us. We don't feel we deserve it. We carry a lot of shame. And I think what our friend Troy has shown us all week is that this world has been given to us to enjoy as we walk hand in hand with Jesus. And we don't need to feel all the guilt we need to feel. If you're being prompted by the Holy Spirit that your belly's too big or that you're doing something wrong, I think we need to respond to that. But know that we love you. We really hope this has been helpful to you. And we're going to be back next week, maybe with something just as important. We love you.
See you guys next week.